Hey team, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with a Deadguy AL list, thanks to John for the donation. This is a second version that we want to play that I saw as a 5.0 and made a few tweaks. Just some little things. The 5.0 list was playing like an Inquisition of Kozilek, and I believe an extra removal suite, but I did want to play Voidwalker. I think this card is really cool, can really host some decks in game one. I mean, against something like Bug Hogak, they don't really have a way to deal with it in game one, which is nice. Dredge is most likely the same, decks like that, and obviously the Void counter shenanigans with sacrificing it and taking a card of your opponent's is pretty cool, which is cool. Hey Panda, yeah, played the challenge last night, and had some really good games. We went 3-3 overall. But I think we did as best as we could with what was given to us, I think is a good way to put it. But yeah, there were some pretty cool matches in there, so definitely gonna run it back. Saturday night challenges are pretty cool, and I really enjoy them. Really enjoy them. Voidwalker is pretty cool. The other card that I would just love, and I haven't seen too much in Legacy, maybe because it's a power level thing, but I think here Opposition Agent fits into the deck perfectly. There obviously is a bit of search in the format. Urza Saga being probably one of the main ones right now, which we are playing two of. So we have... Oh, did I get it? I do want to play a Curse Scroll in this deck. I think Curse Scroll is pretty sweet because I did find with Deadguy Ale that we did hit some situations where we were out of cards. So I think Curse Scroll is a nice way to make sure that we can just finish off an opponent. And obviously if we want to deal with something off on the board with Urza Saga, it's also a nice removal spell for small creatures, which is kind of cool. So I actually am going to put it into the... a little bit greedy. I'm going to take out an agent. I'm going to go with the 3 agents, just to lower the curve a little bit, because I do want to obviously be able to cast multiple spells as early as turn 3. Hopefully like a creature and like a Thoughtseize or a removal spell and a creature. So we'll see how that goes. Hey McSalmon, a huge thank you for the 5-month Prime sub. Very cool. Yeah, I think this list should be pretty cool. So we have 16 sources of mana. We have some utility lands, 2 Sagas, 1 Karakas, 4 Wasteland. For sort of the card advantage engine, we have Dark Confidant, Voidwalker, and Opposition Agent to some extent with kind of virtual card advantage in some situations. We have 4 Dark Rituals to power this out, hopefully early on. I think the best play is probably just Thoughtseize into Bob off of Bob for this sort of deck. The ability to make way for Dark Confidant's really huge, and then just to try to lean on Confidant for keeping in the game against some of the more unfair decks is pretty solid. Removal, we have 4 Swords to Plowshares, a Vindicate, which is pretty old school, but it does hit anything, which is kind of nice. Kai's Guile, which is a really cool inclusion. I didn't see this card before. It's obviously seeing a lot of play in Modern, or at least was the last time I saw. And I think it does have the power to be in Legacy. It's just going to be in the right shell, and maybe Deadguy is where it's going to be. Kaya definitely fell off when Oko and Dreadhorde were taken out of the format. Hitting things like food, and keeping graveyards low was pretty big, but I still think Kaya is pretty relevant, especially with Sagas in the deck, in the format, sorry. Being able to hit these constructs is pretty huge. And also there's just a lot of little creatures. I mean, dealing with something like a Ragavan, a Delver, an Aethervial, a Noble Hierarch, and Mother of Runes, there's a lot of targets. And the ulti is something that's pretty relevant, especially in a deck with Voidwalker. Even if they aren't a graveyard deck, there are a lot of cards going to exile, so Kai can be pretty good. Lily of the Veil, not really the queen she used to be of the Legacy format, but I still think a relevant card for Deadguy, and really nice to have one in the deck. And then a good Stoneforge Mystic package. So Stoneforge going for your usuals in Jin Batterskull, Kaldra Complete, which has just been a phenomenal card for me in every deck that I've played it. Mainly Death and Taxes, but I still think it's fine here. Even though we can't reset it with like a Flicker Wisp or a Yorion, I still think with the hand disruption suite, we can safely get a Stoneforge on the board and then hopefully get Kaldra into play. Shadow Spear is really nice because it's life gain, which can be relevant in a deck with Thoughtseizes and Bobs. It's also trample to get over some of the more pesky creatures in the format. And it's also an equipment we can find with Urza's Saga, which is really cool. Curse Scroll, as I just mentioned before, I think is a pretty nice target for Urza Saga, and I want to try it out. This deck can just run out of gas early on, so having 0 cards in hand or 1 card in hand definitely isn't something that's unknown to me at playing the deck. And then Retrofit of Foundry is just a really nice card. Yeah, Ben, as soon as I put this in the deck, I thought of you. I thought of you on Curse Scroll. And how many creatures you have killed of mine off the off this. So, very cool. And then Foundry is just a really nice way to grind, especially with Saga, making those constructs bigger. This should be pretty fun. To the board, we have 3 Plague Engineers for the creature matchups, 2 Sudden Edicts for creature matchups, maybe like Show and Tell as well. Fracture's pretty cool. This is a new card, or a newish card, that does hit opposing Urza sagas, which is pretty relevant, so it can be a 2-mana Stone Rain in some regard. And just a nice removal spell to give us some reach against Planeswalkers. Necromentia. This is a pretty interesting one. Probably there for some of the combo decks that are namesakes, so Doomsday, Show and Tell. It might be worth bringing in against some other decks, but I'm not too sure yet. So Necromantia is choose a card name other than a basic land card name. Search target player's library, graveyard, hand, and library. Graveyard, hand, and library for any number of those and exile them. And then they get 2/2 zombies for each one you exiled from their hand this way, which is pretty cool. Hey JR, welcome. Chains, I think it's just a cool card against blue decks, and it doesn't see enough play. Needle, just a nice Urza Saga target. Spellbomb, Saga target, Graveyard Hate. Grafdigger's Cage, Saga target, Graveyard Hate. Green Sun Zenith, Natural Order kind of hate. And then just Surgical. Just a nice way to get rid of things like Uro, which can be a little bit problematic for this deck outside of Swords and Dorothy, Voidwalker. But yeah, otherwise, pretty good. I'm going to quickly update the cardboard live because we did just add in the Curse Scroll. But I can do that while we find a game. It should be pretty fun. It's always nice to play some Sunday Legacy, and Deadguy is a pretty cool deck. Three agent and 1 cursed scroll. All right, we're in. Up against a 3-0 opponent. Well, we're definitely keeping this because we have turn 1 Ritual into Opposition Agent. And then we have just a really nice, like turn 2 Voidwalker, turn 3 Kaya. I'm pretty happy to keep this. Ooh, fetch pass, please. They're going to fetch straight away. Okay, that's fair. Ragavan, okay. Hey, Mining Man. Thanks for the follow. Sorry, thanks for the sub. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Alright, what do they see? Wasteland. Okay. Well, I definitely don't want them to be able to attack with the Ragavan here, so I think it is just hold up Opposition Agent. I could try to Ritual into Voidwalker to play around Daze, but then they could just Daze the Duck Ritual. Hey Vegeta, welcome. I hope you're well. I think best case is my opponent tries to like fetch straight up. Or a Dragon Rage, okay. No extra land. Well, we're definitely going to try to go for it. Days. What do they hit? They hit a Bob. Wow. could play it. I don't think they will, though. Especially if they're playing Murktides or Force, they are going to play it. Okay. Alright. Pretty happy to go for Voidwalker here, which is quite nice because it does interact with the Dragon Rage Channeler. And now we can 6. They hit a bolt, which is pretty good. Yeah, Bob definitely pretty interesting. We can take out the Ragavan here next turn with the Kaya, which is kind of nice. The Bolt does get exiled, which is pretty relevant. It is one less card if they are playing Murktide to exile. Okay. I could play around Daze and get Stoneforge, but I think Kai just take out Ragavan is a little bit better. This card's very good, especially in this situation. You're gonna force it. Okay. I think next turn we're definitely playing Stoneforge Mystic and probably going for Kaldra, but Batterskull's pretty tempting. They hit a Force off the Bob, which is nice for us. That doesn't mean they have a Force for the Stoneforge, though. That's also a sorcery to turn this into a 3/3. So they currently have a 2-tone clock and a Force in hand, so I think that's just game, unfortunately. This is going to be an interesting one. I think we can take out the agents. Engineers are interesting because it obviously hits Ragavan, it hits Delver if they're playing Delver, and it also hits Dragon Rage Channeler if they don't have Delirium. I do like the Edicts. Yeah, I believe both Human hits both Dragon Rage Channeler as a 1/1 and Delver of Secrets unflipped, which is pretty nice. I'm not too sure on the Thoughtseizers against a Delver deck. Sorry, the Rituals. They're probably the big card. Hey, Blazing Pandora, thanks for the Prime sub. A huge thank you. You play all kind of nonsense. Nice. Ah, your Reverend Uncle? Very nice. Very cool to see. I still like the Bobs, even though they are... Delver is quite an aggressive deck. I think the Bob is just kind of needed to put us back into the game. But I could see like a trim on Bob. How was the game? Box 1, which is very cool to see. Dark Rit without opposition is kind of suspicious. It's also nice because it means we can like Dark Rit into a 2-drop and play around Daze. But I could see like a drop, definitely. Chains is also pretty nice. Hey Matt, welcome. We're gonna see how this slides. I think the hand disruption's still pretty good. Turn 2 Bob. This is pretty rough, because against like a Ragavan start, if they have like turn 1 Ragavan, turn 2 removal, and just get in, it's not the greatest. I think there's a better 6 with like maybe a Source to Plowshares or a Thoughtseize. Okay. Well, this is a Stoneforge hand with a lot of equipment. We don't have a black source. I think this deck should probably be playing an Urborg. I think that makes a little bit of sense. Hey, Orange Shield. This is a tough one. I mean, the Stoneforge is really the only plan. Okay. Okay. Keep this. Probably bottom a Thoughtseize and the Shadow Spear. I guess we could go double Thoughtseize. This is also a 1-lander, but... It's also a 1-lander where we can only get 1 source of color, which is pretty tough. I think we just bottom the Shadow Spear and the Ritual and just have Thoughtseize. But a tough one. Definitely not the start I wanted. Hey, Mr. Grey Fox. Yeah, I think the Ritual is just where we kind of have to be. Interesting, they don't have a threat, but they have a force. And they only have a 1-lander. I think I take the Bolt here, because if they want to 2-for-1 themselves in the Stoneforge Mystic, that's going to be fine. Yeah, I guess the 2 Baubles could definitely be a land. Bauble 1. Yeah, we can also always Thoughtseize again. Not the worst. Bauble 2. I wonder if they draw into a fetch land if they play the fetch land, just because it plays around Wasteland, even though it's unknown information. Yeah, okay, they do. They fetch for an island. They play around opposition agent. I love it. Okay, well, I guess we know what we're doing. Still like taking Bolt here again. Thoughtseize Tribal. Unfortunately, it's tough because like they're so close to just Murktiding as well. So we know about 2 explosive iterations and a force. Interesting. Okay. They're going to force this pitching an iteration. Okay. So now they have Iteration Volk as the 2 cards that we know, and Unknown. I think the sword will be for a Murktide just because it's the hardest to deal with. This card really strong. Really cool design as well. Wasteland's pretty good. Nice. Great steal. Notice I have 3 lands. Oh, nothing. Alright, here's our chance. Here's our chance. Ah! Tough. What if they have like Brazen Borrower just to hardcast? Dash Dragavan. Yikes. Hit Marsh Flats. Just dead. Take 5, go to 2, and then they have 2 lethal block, 2 attackers, and we can't really deal with both. Rough. Can't do much there. Maybe think more about the opener. Especially seeing their hand. They didn't have a threat, which that hand was okay against. 2 creatures straight up. Probably leading on the Void so that the Bob maybe survives a bolt, or at least gets forced. Yeah, Monkey really good there. Especially for a deck that doesn't have too much removal in game 1. That's cheap. Monkey's really solid. But yeah, I think maybe going back to this deck, I could probably take out a Scrubland and add in a... I think an Urborg should be in here. Especially seeing the amount of lands that don't tap for black. It can be pretty tough if we have one of these in the opener, but then also have a Voidwalker or a Hymn. I think it's a pretty low opportunity cost to run a Urborg over like the 4th Scrubland. Why Vista? I'm not sure. I guess because you do run so many basics, but it does make sense to probably just run more Verdants or even like Bloodstained Mires. I guess the Vista does allow you to get planes, which can be pretty relevant. I think that there are a few times where I just don't have a white source, so having the Vista to get that is pretty nice on top of the Marsh Flats. And I guess Prismatic Vista is the only other fetch land that gets both plains and swamp. Sometimes the basic's really nice against like Wasteland decks or Blood Moon decks. But it does come up like that situation where we just didn't have access to both colors. Alright, on the play. This is a pretty good hand. I mean, like, turn 1 Ritual Thoughtseize into Bob is just really nice. And pretty much exactly where this deck needs to be. Can you use the Prismatic first? Thoughtseize you. Elves. Okay. This is actually an interesting one. So Reclaimer is a way for them to go and get a Cradle. Visionary with Wirewood is also pretty good. Green Suns allows them to ramp if they really want to ramp. It's probably the card draw that I'm most concerned about, being the Elvish Visionary. But then they also have the Green Suns, but their mana's a little bit off. I think here I would just want to take the Visionary just because it replaces itself. I can't really keep them off a one drop. And the Archon I don't really care about. We do have like Sword Plowshares in the deck. Zenith is also just really anything they want. So maybe it is just Zenith. And then try to break up the combo by drawing into removal. Misty Reclaimer. Jide, okay, it's pretty good. Kaya, okay, that's actually pretty strong. I actually don't mind trading the Bob here. If I can keep him off Elves, I'm pretty happy. I don't want to die to just 2 Bobs as well. This deck does have a pretty high curve. This also means next turn the Kaya can take out the, hopefully, Wirewood. I thought they might have played the Bog early on and then played the Wirewood, but maybe they just go for the Elvish Visionary here. Okay. I think here we just want like a 1-drop so we can play Jide and then like Thoughtseize or Swords Plowshares and then untap and Kaya the Wirewood. Another Bob. Prismatic. Well, I think again, I'm just happy to see if they keep trading their creatures. Okay. So now I also have the option of just Kaya tick up instead of playing second Bob. I mean, I could just die, let's be honest. We have Batterskull and Kaldra in the deck. So Kaya tick up means that next turn we could tick down on something like the Symbiote and then attack with the Jide, which is nice because it means they can't block and then return the Visionary. So I think Kaya tick up is actually better here. Also, getting the life is relevant with Bob in play. They're going to attack, okay. They still play it, which is interesting. Quirion Ranger, okay. So now we Kaya the Wirewood. Shepherd. Okay. This is still fine. Ritual. Okay. All 4 Bobs? Nice. Okay, so we definitely want to Kaya the Wirewood here. So they can't block the elf, can't block the Dark Confidant with an elf and then return it before damage. They might return the Visionary here though. Yeah. I don't think we want a Ritual here. We could Ritual to play a second Bob, but maybe that is... Is that too greedy? Come on, chat. Is Ritual a second Bob a little bit too greedy here? Because Ritual gives us an access to +2 mana. Oh, actually it doesn't. Because we have to spend the 1 mana. Yeah, it doesn't work out that way. Apologies. Because yeah, I can go up to 2 mana, and then I only have 3 left, so I have to go for Jide here. This also keeps the Kaya alive, which is really nice. I think I'm still happy to kill the Shepherd here, just to keep them off like Cradle mana. And there's not too many things that I care about that have more than 1 toughness. Okay. Natural order is not the biggest concern. Tick up, play a Bob. Ritual into second Bob and then equip Jide. And then probably kill the Visionary here. They play the Bog, that's fine. That means that no natural orders coming down this turn, which is nice. Reclaim is fine because we have the Kaya. Wirewood, okay. Still pretty good. Okay. This is fine because we can Kaya the Wirewood, attack with the Duck Confidant, see how they trade, and then deal with creatures that way. We also get 2 Bob triggers here. Land. Land. So good. Alright. Exile the Wirewood. Attack with the Duck Confidant. This is fine. I will hymn them. See what that last card is. It's the Archon. Play a land. Equip the Jet. And I think we just kill the Reclaimer here. I could kill the Dryad Arbor if I'm really scared of just Natural Order off the top, but I don't think Cradle Hoof is that scary, especially just 5 damage. It's just a land for them, so we're in the clear-ish. They're going to attack. Okay, so they obviously have a second one through Windswept Heath. Swamp. Caracas. Okay. There is a world where I'm not happy to trade the Bob. And I think at 16 life I'm not. Bob draws are nice to hit lands, but at the same time I don't want to hit lands for the rest of the game. This feels like Natural Order. Okay. This is fine. I think we just take this. We don't have anything that kills us, which is nice. Okay, that was a little bit lucky. Definitely attacking first. And then probably just playing Batterskull and equipping Jit. Nice. Whew. A bit of back and forth, which is nice. The Jide was really strong, what really kept us in the game. I don't mind the 1-for-1 effects here. I don't mind the cage either, so that's going to be 6. Thoughtseize and Hymns I think is still fine. Vindicate, Kaya's Guile, Liliana are still a little bit too slow. I could see the Hymns coming out perhaps. Maybe just like 1 ritual. I don't mind this. Chains is pretty good as well, I guess. Yeah, especially against Glimpse. The Voidwalkers can actually come out. There we go. Voidwalkers for the chain seems pretty good. Here's a 1-lander with just ritual. Pretty happy to mulligan this. Especially if they have like Decay for the Dark Confidant, this hand does absolutely nothing. Okay, well we have a 1-lander in Urza Saga, but that's it. Alright, I guess we keep this bottom Batterskull and Shadow Spear. Not the worst 5. I mean, we get turn 1 removal into turn 2 Bob into removal. We also have a lot of colors online, which is nice. How many lands are we running? We are running 23 lands, which I think is pretty good. They did show Cradle, so I actually might just want to fire off this Swords here. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm happy just to play the Bob and try to draw into a Plague Engineer as soon as possible. But it is pretty scary with the Cradle in play. Yikes. I think Wasteland's probably my best draw. Wasteland and Swords on the Wirewood. Bob's not too bad. Just gonna do this now. Yeah. Hope that the last card isn't Natural Order. Land Natural Order would be pretty brutal. Okay. This is 6 to activate. Hey, Dark Cloud, thank you very much. 14 months is very cool on Prime. Hope you're well. Hopefully catch you at Legacy sometime soon. Definitely miss the Eldrazi players. They find a Wirewood, okay. Come on, Plague. Plague one time. Graph Cage isn't the worst. Marsh Flats. But now they just have pretty close to lethal with Shepherds. They need 1 more land. Could have drawn a second Cradle as well. This is quite nice because it also turns off fetch for Dryad Arbor. What are they doing? Maybe they're going to Green Suns for Grist? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Did they just Green Suns into a Graph Cage? Come on, player. Okay, that's actually a phenomenal draw. Damn, Mining Man. A huge thank you for the tier 1 subs. Too kind. Too kind. Thank you very much. I hope you're doing well. Too kind. Too kind. Jerry Freeman, welcome. Duckspy Dragon, Poing, Kadu, Yokel. Welcome. Welcome all. Nice. I think they should just start alpha swinging, but they're not, which is interesting. Okay. I guess they can turn a land here into something else with Reclaimer. I should have definitely, I should definitely swords here. And I'm just going to get rid of the Wirewood, because everything else they can return. So just so they can't tap the Cradle here for 4/5 and play a land, and yeah. Should have definitely done it sooner, but I don't want them getting to 6 mana for sure. Professional NFL player with those punts. Look, there's definitely been a lot of punts on stream for me as well, so. Alright. Come on, Bob. Let's find some gas. Edict? Okay. Stoneforge. Nice. Probably just want to get Jit here and equip. I think Jit equip is fine. I think Jit equip is better than Sudden Edict. But it's definitely close. The Sudden Edict also keeps him off a mana. So I think it actually is probably better just to play it safe, play the Jit out, and then Sudden Edict them. Kaldra is in the deck. Kaldra is in the deck with 4 Bobs, Mr. Grey Fox. You know it. Birch Law. Okay. 3, 4. They're getting close to getting there with Shepherd. I've definitely had some pretty good punts, especially when I started playing Legacy. Oh, is this Sword Splashes? What's this? Archon. Wow, okay. That's pretty good. They name instant. Oh. I think I just have to attack here. Unfortunately. I mean, Bob's been nice, but I've just really haven't drawn into what I need to take over the game. And I do need the life. Flooding a fair bit, but we can take out the Allosaurus Shepherd here. And then Bob can trade with Reclaim if I really need to. Cabal Pit. Yikes. I think you go ham. I think you attack with nearly everything. Putting me dead in 2 turns is very different. Yeah. And I think I just take this. They're going to attack with everything. Okay. This is interesting. 5, 8, 11. And it takes a black to sack this. So what if we go block here? And then before damage pump. That gives us an extra counter, right? Because now this survives. We go to 1. And now I guess we gain 2, go to 3. And then I should probably gain another 2. It's tough because if I just take the hit, then if I attack, I can pump this to a 4-powered creature if they block with the Archon, and then use the other counters to finish it off. But I think the life gain is just too good here. I think I kind of have to go to 5. Because there are a lot of 3-drops left in the deck. Wasteland. Plague. Okay. Oh, so close. Play Plague. Name Elf. The question is, do we attack? We actually have to attack. I think we take them off the cradle here, because we can kind of play around the Cabal Pit thanks to the Umezawa's Jide. Alright. Another Reclaim is really good. Just Kaya do it. Kaya doesn't. I guess we can gain life. Go to 4. And now they have to attack. Still think it's lethal. Because we go to 6 and then we take a bunch. Tough. See how they attack. They might attack incorrectly. It really comes back to getting that extra life. Oh, they just attack like this? This is still lethal, right? Yeah, because we can gain some, but then we don't gain life before we can... Yeah. I don't think we want to change anything. I think we just send it back. Being on the play is definitely good. That was a 5 as well, so definitely kept in the game, which is nice. Nope. Okay. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Chains. Probably bottom of Chains. I could also see keeping a Chains. But double Wasteland's also quite nice. It's probably the natural order that I just want to take here. We have the chains for the 2 visionaries, which is nice. Hey, Moist Junk, welcome. Green Suns. Okay. Did they just not... What just happened there? Did they not get anything? Oh, they cast Green Suns of 0, but they... What? I'm not sure what's happening here. It's in his hand, but usually they play more than one Dried Arbor. Thoughtseize. Just want to keep them off as much as possible. Depending on what we draw, this Wasteland might be better for us, just to have access to 3 mana. But now we don't care. The Reclaimer is a 4-tone clock, so we do have to be aware of that. Well, I guess we play it. Rough. That's just gonna be game. Tough. Can't say much there. Kind of just ran out. But yeah, opponent had some interesting Green Suns plays. I guess we could have mulliganed to maybe a hand that has a Stoneforge or a Dark Confidant, but the hands felt pretty good. Had mana, had chains for interaction, had Wasteland. Yeah. Tough. Whoa. Definitely need another coffee. Think a red splash would make a difference. Cards like... Is that supposed to be Bolt in the side? Bob does interact nicely with Mephistopheles because you don't draw the card, you just put it in your hand, which is nice. Tough. What kind of coffee? Cappuccino, 1 sugar. Cappuccino, 1 sugar. Cap and a shug. Big fan of milk, so I do, yeah. I haven't gone full black yet with coffee, but it's on the radar. It would be nice to move away from milk. Tough. Reclaim are really good in that matchup. Especially where a lot of our hate is like Plague Engineer. Just doesn't line up as well as it could. And then like Jide as well. Usually 1-for-1s with most Elves, but Reclaimer again, just really solid at making sure we have to use at least maybe 2 counters on an elf. Alright. Let's get on the board. Let's get on the board. A 2-lander with Curse Scroll. We also have the Bob already with Stoneforge Batterskull. I'm going to keep this. I don't want to mulligan to 6 with a hand that does something. Bloodstain to me always makes me feel like it's going to be... Okay. Blast Bolt Grim. They're pretty cool. I do like Curse Scroll as kind of a Grim Lava Mentor effect because you can find it through Urza Saga. My opponent is most likely on Doomsday if I see Underground Sea. Void. Underground Sea Ponders. Interesting. Doesn't give too much away. Next time we have Bob, which isn't too bad. And then hopefully an extra land for Agent would be cool. Agent's pretty sweet against Doomsday. If this is Doomsday. Or just like Ant. Okay, it's gonna be Tess. There's a Wish. They have 1 mana floating. They have the Mox Opal. So they can Opal Ritual. They do need red mana. I guess they could Wish Claw into a Lotus Petal. Or they just find the Lotus Petal. They're going to keep going. Interesting. Chains are fine. Necros are fine. Could see the Plagues coming in as just a way to deal with empty if they do go for an empty. Vindicate no. Swords easy no. Curse Scroll too slow. Kai's Guile. Exiling the Graveyard I don't think is going to be relevant. I don't mind Needle as just like a Wish Claw target. Take out the Kaldra. This is 60. Veil can probably come out, but Veil discard can be relevant. I don't think the life on Guile is worth. I think this is okay. Just hope to have like a good hand with some sort of interaction term on, like Thoughtseize, or maybe like Dark Rid into him. Surgical's not the greatest as well, because there's not really a target. They can usually play around Surgical to some extent. I think keeping some amount of like the deck together is good as well to make sure we have pressure. This is pretty good. But it doesn't have any lands. Yikes, way too slow. Well, I guess we have Dark Rid into him. Not fantastic. I don't really want to go to 4 cards. This is probably just better. Oh, we hit 2 lands, which is nice. But they have a Volk. Okay. Well, pretty happy just to take out this Volk. Brainstorm's fine. Stoneforge also a pretty live draw, which is kind of nice. That's if we get a turn, which I assume we're not. Oh, they're going to Echo. Okay. Yikes. Not great. Hey, Prometheus. Welcome. Please no Veil. Cool. Yikes. What is the point of this deck? A little 1-for-1. 1 second. Goblins. Deadguy Ale is definitely like a disruption deck that is trying to 1-for-1 your opponent, sometimes 2-for-1 your opponent with things like Plague Engineer or Hymn to Turak. It usually plays a Stoneforge Mystic package, which is nice as well. Opponent with not too much here. Yikes. I don't mind double wastelanding the Verdant. Because I believe they won't have another basic, so we can actually hit that, which is nice. Wastelands aren't going to be doing much anyway. So might as well see if they have a duel we can hit. They might even just cycle Veil here if they have another one. Interesting. They're gonna add Nors. Played Sneak and went 2-2. Very cool. What type of Sneak and Show did you play? Can just cast Tendrils here. Rough. Sorry, team. This is horrible. I thought Deadguy would be putting up a bit more of a fight, but the variance has been pretty huge. Variance has been insane. Probably small things with sequencing that I can work on, but I feel like just the tools we've been given haven't been the greatest each match. Yeah, it's tough. I feel like the hand disruption package is good, but it's only a speed bump against something like Tess, so I can definitely see where it's just too strong. Yeah, just really fast out of the gates, and like Veil is really solid against us. Hey, for sure you can link it. Definitely, that'd be really cool to see. I have blue-white in paper, or blue-green. And I do have access to Sneak, which is cool. Nice. I play Ragavan in the board? How could you? How could you? That would tilt me. That would tilt me just a little bit. It's always tough because I'm never sure about keeping in-slot splashes against Sneak and Show, especially if they go into the plan with the 3-drop that creates a token. And obviously if Ragavan becomes more of a thing, then there's considerations for keeping in the this like 1 or 2 swords. Well, we've got a game so far. Ooh. Hey Romar, don't look, it's hideous. Does Stick and Show play Monkey too? I've definitely seen it. I've seen it main deck in some decks. Pretty nuts. This league is going better than your last league. Are you still playing Doomsday Ramar, or you are mixing things up? I know you play a few decks. Yeah, like... I really want some sort of turn 1 interaction. Can't afford just to play a turn 3 spell. You played 5 different decks in the last week? Very cool. Alright, we got there. Probably bottoming the Curse Scroll. Classic Orange Shield. Ponder of Underground Sea, okay. They chose to shuffle. Probably a card that's going to be doing nothing in this matchup. Source to Plowshares. Doomsday or Ant? Or Tess? Well, definitely taking Adnors here, I think. Yeah, double Ritual just gets there. Yikes. Well, looks like we're just going to lose. Maybe they echo. I could see an echo line. Hey Vinok, thanks for the follow. I hope you're well. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? From the US, TNT and Miracles? Very cool. Very nice. Oh, nice. Yeah, the league I did with XJ Club was really fun. Nice to get the trophy as well. Yorion tax is pretty strong. They probably leave 1 black for ritual effects. Okay. Don't think we'll be given the chance to play anything, but still cool. This does look to be Tess again. Defense grid's fine. What was the round 1 opponent on? That is a good question. I would love to see a Hinder Turak. Sorry, a Dark Writ. I guess we can Wishclaw into double. No, we can't. 1 mana. I think it's just him face and then attack. Blue-Red Delver, there we go. Yeah, with our Ragavans. definitely a little bit tough because, like, I think Mother of Runes is kind of cool in this deck as protection for Bob and Stoneforge, so you can actually get your equipment online. But you also have Hand Disruption, which kind of acts like your way to protect, and also has some really good play against combo, against midrange and control decks. So I'm not sure you can fit the mums in. You'd rather just have something a little bit more flexible. Haha, too kind, Orange Shield. One card left. Adnors. Rough. Stillmoon Cavalier? Nice. I've played that card in D&T before. It was pretty sweet. Local metagame was pretty high on black and white, so Stillmoon was pretty cool. Oh, I got a 1? Come on now. That's just showing off. Alright. Swords out. Curse Scroll. Retrofitter. Shadow Spear is interesting at least. Vindicate. Kaya's Guile. Bring in Surgicals, bring in Chains, bring in Plagues, just in case. I don't mind Graph just because it stops Echo. I don't mind Void Walker. Maybe just the 2 Engineers. Could cut Sagas, but I don't mind the land drop. Turn 2 Chains, not good enough. Okay. Ritual into Thoughtseize and Chains is pretty good, but we don't have a black source. Yeah, Grief is pretty cool. Could definitely see Grief in this deck. Oh no, not turn 1 Cage. Yikes. You missed us dying to Adnors. Yeah, FedEx in a pretty tough spot. As they, I guess, always are in a pretty unfair format like Legacy, but usually have a little bit more game to them. Yeah, it's fair. Greenwhite Depths is a pretty good start. Oh. Interesting. Because now we can surgical this. With Wish on the stack. I guess it doesn't matter because of the Graph Cage, but still interesting. Maybe they're just going to go for... They're probably just going for empty here. So maybe the 2 lines for... Yeah. I kind of just tunneled into there to surgical, but we didn't really need to. I assume they do just go for empty here. Yeah, and the 2 life definitely hurts. You do have Plague. Oh. Take 11. Maybe Stoneforge Batterskull's good enough. We take 11, go to 6. We take 10, but gain... No, we take 9, but gain 4. I think that's good enough. I think we survive on 1. But the surgical was just stupid. There was really no neat reason for that. And the 2 life definitely hurts. Yeah, and gave more storm count. It's very true. Maybe I did the math wrong. Surgical just so incorrect. Yeah, still lethal. Tough. Stupid. Yeah. Yikes. Big punt. 100% winnable as well. Well, we can go for the 05. Tough. Definitely learn to it. Even just thinking, like, I think one thing that I can definitely work on as a Magic player is just looking at the board state before I do anything. Because they're, like, the surgical is an extra 4 damage. 2 goblins, 2 life. Could definitely run this back. Can you run a poll? Do you know how to run a poll, Boyd? I think you have access to running a poll. Oh, okay. Do you want to run a poll on Second League or not? I definitely don't want to finish the day as you know, even a 1-4. Yeah, surgical's so stupid. Hey Crop, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy. Legacy Gust. What's Legacy Gust? Definitely post it in chat. Chat might be able to help as well. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back in a second. We're back. Oh, close. On the play, which is nice. Up against Yorion. Just a nothing hand. Okay. I guess we keep and just go for Stoneforge. Probably bottom ace. Probably bottom the... This is an interesting... I think it's just like a second... Agent and Lily both really good off Dark Ritual, so just one black spell is really good, but also second creature. I think I'm just going for Jide though, so I think Stoneforge is fine. Poll up? Nice. I'm gonna vote yes. Flooded Strand. Interesting. Maybe like a Bug Yorion deck? Welding Jar. Come on, Black Sauce. Ugh. I'm just gonna get the Jide. Have to vote for a match win, yeah. Okay. Meekstone's gonna be fine. Yikes. Take the agent. Interesting. A land here is nice, because even if they wasteland us, we can still equip Jide, and then also Dark Rid into Lily. They have 2 cards left. Bridge is fine. Jide's really nice with Bridge as well. Wow. Well. I guess we can hold up Caracas to put the Emery in their hand and then attack next turn anyway. So that's pretty good. I could have done this turn as well. That's very true. It works out anyway, so just less counters on Jide, which isn't the worst. Okay. Equip. Attack. Nice. They could expedition map in response if they really want to. I don't think they do. I think they just discard the Emery because we have both Stoneforge and Krakus' outs. Even a Saga here isn't too bad. We also can neg one the Stoneforge Mystic to get under the bridge if they have 0 cards in hand. Vindicate. Okay, that's pretty cool. I wonder what I actually want to Vindicate here, though. I guess it doesn't matter because of the welding jar. Just little things line up really well here. I guess we can hit the Academy Ruins. Maybe that's just the best hit. Neg this creature. Attack with Stoneforge. For damage, actually pump it. Tick up Lily. And pass. On Stoneforge, attack with Stoneforge, pump Stoneforge. Hey Muzzball, welcome. Sadly in the 04 bracket. Challenge went 3-3, up against Bant, up against Bant, up against maybe Delver, and then down to Doomsday, Bant, and something else. Attack with Stoneforge, pump Stoneforge. I could catch the Lily, but I think right now the... maybe it was correct. Let's see what they name. Lily. Okay. Bob's pretty sweet. 2-2 with Green Black Maverick. Very cool. What did you play against? What did you win? What did you lose? Hey, Lobe Card Diet. Thanks for the follow. Hope you're well. And Jank Time. Thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're both from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Probably just want to gain some life here for Bob, but I will keep one. Okay. Lost to Blue-Red Delver. Other loss was D&T. Win against Hogak and Titan Post. Nice. Post can be tough, especially if they have like early needles. Or even crop rots in response to Wasteland. Hitting the islands as well is just so good. Okay. What do they find? Hopefully a card that they have to hold on to. I have no idea what that card is. Tap target artifact or creature. Alright. Dampening Sphere. Another Narset. Just gonna put this in, and then 6. What are they targeting? Opposition agent. I guess they can curse scroll it in response, but This is still probably okay. Definitely tough when like losing isn't fun, especially when you're streaming it, but I think as well Magic is just a game. And thankfully the weather outside is really nice, so do have some good things to look forward to. We do have some draws, like Vindicate would be cool, Kaya would be sweet, Saga's interesting. Oh, they let it equip. Interesting. They could have, they got no cards for Curse Scroll. Interesting. Okay. What do we have Void Counters on? Surgical, Dampening Sphere, Narset. Narset's pretty cool. They're gonna kill the Bob. Interesting. I think the Bob's like they kind of play to win. That's fine. Yeah, maybe getting my own Narset is nice. Might draw first, then see what happens. Another needle. Sure. They named Batterskull, okay. Swords, not the greatest. I'm gonna get that Narset. Sure. Probably the card that I deserve. This is actually the first time I've ever made a construct on stream. Actually, in anywhere, so that's pretty cool. Shadow Spear. Alright. In response, let's create another. We do have the Curse Scroll, which is nice. Alright. What's Narset? Kaya! Okay. Nice. Alright. Let's Ritual. Cast Kaya. Probably exile the Needle naming Liliana first. We can play Shadow Spear. I feel like we just separate their piles to be like Bridge and everything else. Is that just how this goes? How do I see everything? So good. So good. Nice. Very cool. Alright, this is going to be an interesting game. Fracture seems really good. Graph Digger's Cage doesn't seem too bad. I like the needle. I don't mind the spell bomb. Sure, surgicals maybe. Maybe no. Yeah, Kai are really strong. I still like the swords. Bobs, Dothrakis. Dothrakis. I'm just gonna call these Dothrakis from now on. Shadow Spear can come out. Jide's pretty good. Kaldra, I probably don't mind dropping. It's pretty good. Not sure if Necro's worth it. Definitely an interesting card. It could also just be the Fracture that I sideboard in and nothing else. We have a lot to deal with. Well, we have a few things to deal with. The artifacts and enchantments. Necro named Bridge seems pretty good. Yeah, maybe that's true. I'm going to take out the Retrofitter. And maybe just down on like a Wasteland. They have a pretty basic heavy deck. I'm going to bring in some sort of Graveyard Hate. I think Graph Cage is fine. Wish we have a Curse Scroll? We do have Curse Scroll. Ah, in Modern. That's fair. Yeah, okay. It's just going to be a Stoneforge. Surgical is interesting as well because of things like Emery. They're not always in control of what hits the bin. This is a pretty sweet hand. I'll keep this. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Doth or Dark Confidant or him. Probably naming Liliana. Dark Ritual would be a really nice draw. Then we could like Thoughtseize and him, or Thoughtseize and then go for it. Just Emery, Wasteland. Okay, that's fine. Very interesting keep. Really just the Emery. Wow, okay. Well, now I'm pretty happy to play the Bob. I guess I could have played the Marsh Flats to get another basic to play around Wasteland, but if they want to Wasteland me, that's probably okay. This turns on Wasteland for us pretty well. Okay. I think our Voidwalker here is just better than him. Especially off a basic. Delth into him does seem pretty good. Okay, so we still know these two cards. I like just holding up Opposition Agent here. Academy Runes. Vindicate. Okay. Start with Wasteland on Black Source. Attack with all. Sure. They have 2 cards left. Ritual. Him, you. Should have played Voidworker first, but I know there were lands. And now we have Lethal on the swing back. We also have some really nice ways to stop any sort of blockers, so we're looking pretty good. So we get one. We get one. Deck was pretty sweet. A lot of variance, which is, you know, I can't complain. We're not playing a deck with like Sylvan Library or Ponder or Brainstorm, so you kind of just have to play with what you're dealt. And generally the hands weren't the greatest, but that's just like, that's part of playing a deck like this. You definitely can't have your cake and eat it too. But overall, like 1-4, but this deck is just really fun to play. I mean, Hymn to Turak is a really fun card. Vindicate is a really fun card. Even Bob, like, you know, Bob with Kaldra in the deck is pretty hilarious, and just leads to some pretty fun times. Deadguy is in an interesting spot. I feel like there's a lot of different builds. Like Opposition Agent was fine. We never really got to get anyone, which is tough. And a lot of the time, yeah, it just didn't really line up well, which is tough. I do like Dark Grit over Chrome Mox, but to be fair, I also haven't tested out Chrome Mox, so I haven't played a version with Chrome Mox. Obviously, both are card disadvantage, but do lead to cards like Dark Confidant on turn 1, which is nice, because then you can recoup that card loss. But Ritual does also allow for things like turn 1 Lily, which is pretty huge. Also, just like turn 1 Hold Up Opposition Agent, which is kind of cool. I think Agent might just be a sideboard card, to be fair. A little bit like Plague Engineer, just bringing in against the decks where you really want it, where they actually play hard tutors. Because a lot of the time it's just, you know, opponents play around it, or they have, you know, a Daze or a Force or something, or a Source to Plowshares. So I could see a world where we just go hard on the black sources. I think the best change that I could make straight away is just an Urborg over the extra Scrubland. I do like the Vistas do get the basics. So we have 4 Marsh Flats, which gets Basic Plains, Basic Swamp, and Scrubland. And then Verdant gets Swamp, Scrubland. And then Prismatic Vista gets Plains and Swamp, which is kind of nice. So we have a few more ways to fetch just that Basic Plains, which can be really relevant against Wasteland and Blood Moon decks. Saga, we only saw once, and I guess it was okay. It did get us a Curse Scroll, which if we didn't find the Kaya would have been pretty nice to try to win the game with, because we could empty our hand pretty easily. I feel like Voidworker, especially with an Urborg build, probably should be more than just a 2-of. It just seems really strong as a one-sided Graveyard Hate effect, and also being able to sack and change with a card is just huge. Guile we didn't really see. Vindicate was fine as just a removal spell. Stoneforge Mystic Package was okay. Yeah, I feel like there's a few ways to build Deadguy, which is cool. And I can definitely see a Chrome Mox build in the deck, especially if you're playing more 2-drops like Voidwalker, just to really make sure you can play like a 2-drop on turn 1 with Chrome Mox, which is cool. But otherwise, yeah, just a bit of a rough league. But chat made it all the much better. All the much better. I'm going to see who else is streaming. If you guys want to find me on YouTube, you can find all my videos here. I will have my challenge up there. Hopefully tomorrow, I'll go through with some... yeah, cut out all the middle ground for the challenge and just have the games as just one video, which is cool. And then, of course, if you're on Twitter, you can find me here. Pretty close to 1,000 followers, which is cool. So if you do enjoy this content, definitely consider giving me a follow on any platform. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. You can also find me, of course, at the Green Sun Zenith. I just put together a primer on green-white depths. So if you want to find that, you can check it out there. And of course, thank you to my sponsors, Card Hoarder, who allow me to play with all these cards, and MTG Mate, which is an Australian online single seller. You can also get some pretty awesome buy list prices through their store. And if you're looking for singles, you can use code Dukes for 5% off, which is pretty cool. That's my spiel. That's everything. That's me done. All right. We're going to send you guys over to the Legacy Pit. A huge thank you all. Mighty Man, a huge thank you as well. The Legacy Pit. Nice. All right. Enjoy your weekends. Stay safe. Apologies we couldn't get the result that we wanted, but maybe next time. Maybe next time. Ciao for now.